Hey gang, Amersil here. This is attempt number 7 at getting a video put out in the last couple days. We have an update coming in about 8 hours from now, so it's debatable whether I'm going to get any more done between now and then. We'll see if I can get through this one. Real life has conspired the last few days to be a more or less constant source of interruption. There's been a lot going on. I won't go into all of that. Some of you know already. But it has had the phone ringing and people knocking on the door, and there's been a lot going on. So I'm going to try one more time. This is we'll call this lucky number 7 to see if I can get through this. And this is it's not just this video. I've tried others, but I thought if I'm going to get through one, I want it to be this one, and I'll make clear why here in a little while. So. Myself and Caltanks, who you may know as Papa Pixelate from Discord, myself, Ram, and Caltanks decided we were going to play. Caltanks was the last one into our division, and it's our custom that the last person into the division gets to pick the tier. He chose tier 7, so here we are. We found ourselves in a tier 9 match, but there's no aircraft carrier. Yay! Although Gneisenau and Flint, and I guess to a lesser degree Akatsuki, for what they are, have decent AA, particularly the Flint. If we were up against a tier 8 CV, we would all struggle. For those who don't know, Flint is a variant of the Atlanta, and the Flint has smoke, and the torpedoes have essentially doubled the range. The regular stock Atlanta has... well, it's not stock, it's still premium, but the Atlanta has 4.5 kilometer range on its torpedoes, and the Flint has the same torpedoes. I think it's the same torpedoes. I know it's the same range as the Mahan or Benson at 9 point. Is Benson at 9? Definitely the Mahan of 9.2 kilometers. So it can be a nasty surprise. Anyway, I opted because only a couple of radar ships in this game, Alaska and Cleveland, to see if I could secure the Bravo cap. Only 2 DDs on the enemy team, Kagero and Akatsuki, and I figured I could hold my own against one of those if it came to it. But I positioned, as you'll see, at the south end of the cap, and I'm doing what we call penciling up with a nod to Spec Op Pride, who's a tactical officer for ICOP, who coined that phrase, in order to minimize the surface area of my ship in what I anticipate is a likely trajectory of enemy torpedoes. So, Bravo Cap has been secured. I see that there's a Colorado and a York, and I'm presuming probably others. Yeah, Duke of York and Georgia. And I'm going to end up throwing out some preemptive torps, but I'm going to give it a second. I'm going to head for the Alpha Cap. We've already got Charlie, we've got Bravo, so and you can make an argument for just holding what you have, but it looks like they are all kind of lemming training toward the Alpha Cap, and I want to try and get ahead of that in an effort to throw torpedoes in their face. So what I've done there is just throw some preemptive torps out in an effort to hopefully hit them, but if not, maybe just disrupt their transit from where they are to where they want to be. But you can see the Bravo Cap is now flipping red. So I've no sooner left the cap, and either the Kagero or the Akatsuki has moved in there. You can see Caltanks and Ramagar south of me. They're already in transit to reposition to support A. And the enemy Alaska, is pushed into the Charlie Cap, while our Georgia, Dmitry Donskoy, etc. over on that side have all just, well, maybe there's good reason, but it kind of looks a little bit like a cluster flop over there. I'm pinging the Cleveland, hoping that our Baltimore, Colorado, St. Louis, Musashi, and Ram will tear him up. And I'm just having a look to see if any of my torpedoes are going to hit. Nope. Because if we can get rid of the Cleveland, it gives me a lot more room to maneuver here. Now, it ends up that maneuvering room on this side became a little less important because all those guys that looked like they were heading this way, they stopped. Because while I've been talking, and just since I've left the Bravo Cap, our team has given away the other 2 caps, one of which we already had. And Asashio, rather than going into that cap and trying to keep them from taking it, He just let them have it, presumably because he didn't want to alert them to his presence in the hope that he would be able to land more torpedoes. I question the logic there, giving away a cap, but I can at least see, what seems the likely reason for it. Yeah, kind of crazy to throw torps out there, but just in case there's a destroyer that's crossing from Bravo this way, which I guess would have to be Kagero. You can see Akatsuki over there by the Charlie cap. Again, just preemptive in case somebody's crossing. And I'm going to move back this way in the hope of getting ahead of some of these guys on the red team that are now supporting the Bravo cap. Okay, Baltimore on our team finished off the Cleveland at close range. We lost our Georgia to an Akatsuki torpedo. The guys on that side, maybe the red players were just phenomenally good, but from looking at the minimap, just looks like they potatoed. Won't claim to know. All I can tell you is what it looked like. Our Asashio, Jose, he's kind of holed up here. I was really hoping he would push toward the cap, but he didn't. I am spotted, and we'll know here in a second why. It's got to be a destroyer, right? I mean, that's... And there's the Kagero. You can see him on the minimap, basically at my 12 o'clock. But I'm going to keep guns on Colorado, try and keep him burning. And I'm anticipating that I might see torpedoes. He's probably... Kagero's either thrown torpedoes my way or toward Asashio. I guess maybe more likely toward Asashio and the Musashi and our Flint. Cal Tanks is captaining. There's another fire on Colorado. Okay, so Colorado's down. I'm going to just throw, again, preemptive. I'm not anticipating that these guys are going to continue on their current track, but I'm just hoping maybe I hit somebody, get them flooding so I can start a fire on them. Now, you see those torpedoes. Those are from the Asashio, and the Kagero spotted them all. So, if any of them hit, it'll be a miracle. He had to know, our Asashio had to know that Kagero was there, so why he threw those torps out, it just makes zero sense to me. Okay, so we got to finish the Kagero. And I've moved out here. We've got a fire so we can continue to see him. And then I'll push right back into my smoke, and that should finish him right there. Alright, so I'm going to take a second, catch my breath, figure out which direction I want to go. I'm going to have to try and get back into the B cap. And we've kind of got them on their heels on the north side of the B cap. Our Asashio has finally, at long last, pushed into Bravo. And my hope is that between the two of us we can secure it. But here comes Duke of York, and for those who don't know, the Duke of York is a premium battleship that a lot of people don't really like it, but it has hydro, so it's great at spotting incoming torpedoes and avoiding them. Now, I don't know if our Asashio captain knows that, but either way, he's radared and appears to just kind of be sitting there in front of Alaska. Again, questionable. I'm going to try and finish off this Akatsuki because I consider him the biggest threat. He's gone, but our Akatsuki, or excuse me, our Asashio goes down to the Duke of York. So I don't consider that a good trade. I'm going to try and get as close to this island as I can in an effort to try and limit the number of shells that can hit me. I got a little too close here, as you can see. Not close enough that I have to stop, but it slows me way down. But they've lost their lock-on, so even though they're going to keep throwing shells this way, the damage should be minimal. Now Ram is trying to slow them down here. And the Gneisenau is a very tough, tanky ship. I made a mistake there. I should have spread those torps out more. I was just kind of in a hurry of looking what was behind me and what the situation was here. I really should have spread those out more because if Duke of York turns short of where I targeted, none of my torps will hit. You see our Saint Louis went down to the York. He was just too broadside. I mean, really, that's all it boils down to. York and all the other mid and high tier German cruisers have really, really nasty AP shells, and I'm guessing that's what happened there. But Caltanks is positioning up there in order to be able to cause problems for both the York and the Georgia that's pushing in. Now I've got 20 seconds till I have torpedoes again. I really have to be aware of where the Alaska's at, because Alaska has some nasty HE shells. You can see he's firing AP right now, but if he radars and spots me, he'd probably get at least one good shot on me with HE, if that's what he wanted to do. Now Caltanks is facing off against the Georgia, and the Georgia looks to be pushing. Now this is kind of this is a great location for defending, which becomes more and more clear as the next few minutes unravel. But I have not done much of anything this game. I mean, I got 24,000 damage. I've landed a torpedo and some gunshots, but really this game I've been on my heels. Our whole team has, since shortly after we got the Bravo cap. But you got to keep going. You got to keep trying, and that's the reason that I wanted to record this one in particular and get it up on our YouTube page, because you can see there Caltanks took out the Georgia 2 tiers higher that could and was rush him and just splatter him. And Ram is still in the game. We're all bottom tier, and I'm facing kind of a Sophie's choice here of which way I want to die. Do I want to die to the Fiji/Georgia or to the Alaska? And here's what I opt to do. I opt to smoke behind me, so York loses vision. If he pushes me, and Alaska takes out Caltanks at last. If he pushes me, his hydro could catch me, but I'm guessing he didn't have hydro ready because he threw on the brakes and started to reverse. Now, I'm going to do what damage I can to him, but in my head I'm thinking, alright, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to run forward away from Georgia. I'm just reversing to get out of the way of what the likely torpedo path was. And now I'm going to try and get torpedoes on Alaska, and then I have to rush the Alaska side to get away from the Georgia that I know is pushing me. So, speed boost, and I'm running straight at an enemy Alaska at what will be point blank range. And I think it's right around here when we were in our voice comms that I, in my enthusiastic excitement, said, "Surprise, mother trucker!" Borrowing from Flammes there. And now the smoke will protect vision on the back side so that I don't have to worry about Georgia shooting me, at least for another minute or so. Okay, so as it stands right now, Ram is still in the game, I'm still in the game, and we have a Dmitry Donskoy that's way out in the middle of nowhere down there. Now, he had a very good game. I'm not taking anything away from him, and he kept his guns hot the whole game. But this is looking pretty dire. They've got 5 ships. We've got 3 ships. I need to get at least 1 cap, and we need to hold the Alpha cap. We've got an almost completely full health Georgia still up there. There's still the York up there. Azuma and Tirpitz down south, who are, well, they're chasing Ram down. I'm throwing out some torps in the hope that Georgia continues pushing straight ahead toward the Donskoy. And now I see an opportunity. So what to do? I've got a cap. I really want to secure the cap, so I'm going to move outside of the York hydro range in case he pops that. And I'm just going to try and stay unseen long enough to get the cap secured. And then I know that I'm going to have to engage and kill him. Now I've got almost 14,000 hit points left, and he's only got 4, but it is a York, and we are going to be at very close range. So it's not a guaranteed thing. So I'm really hoping that one of these torps is going to get him, but nope. Missed him by a whisker. But there's the cap secure. I'll just turn in. I thought for a second about going to Charlie, but if I do, there's no way we could win. You can see the points total right now. I have to kill the York for us to have any chance at all. Ram has died, so it's just me and the Donskoy. That was not too good. I need to aim higher. Gotta hit that superstructure. He's firing AP, which is great for me. That means this is going to finish him off. And I expect we'll probably see some torpedoes. My guns don't have the range for PG to be able to maintain vision. There are the torpedoes. It's a close shave here, excuse me, but I had to keep accelerating if we were going to have any chance. Again, I don't want to give up. I had to keep accelerating because at this point we have to kill enemy ships in order to have any chance of winning. Now, I have acknowledged that it's very unlikely that we're going to win, but you see that I'm still in it. I'm still trying. I'm wondering where the Fiji is. I'm wondering where the Georgia is going to go. I'm always thinking about what comes next. And with everything that's been going on in my personal life the last couple 3 months, that has kept me going. That same kind of attitude, and that's why I wanted to make sure that this game is the one that got out there. Because even if none of you appreciate it, and I hope a couple of you will, this is something I can look back at and remind myself about going forward as some of these things that are going on in real life are still unfolding. Thanks a lot for watching, guys. It was really fun. I'll see you the next time.